Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's at-home full body, full length Pilates class. Today we're going to be sculpting our abs, arms, glutes, and thighs. We're going to be working through exercises to lengthen, strengthen, and tone the entire body. This workout does include a warm-up and a cool down, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start down on the mats in an all fours position, the wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. And we're just going to begin by mobilizing the spine. So I'd like you to drop your belly, arching the spine, rolling your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale, and then as you exhale, I'd like you to scoop your belly in and round through the spine, dropping the crown of the head. So inhale, we arch. Exhale, we push mat away, creating space between each of the vertebrae. Inhale, drop the belly, roll the shoulders down, gaze comes up. And exhale. Nice work. Let's take two more like that. Really exaggerating the movement. And final one, and bring your spine back into neutral. Now I'd like you to curl your toes. And we're going to arch the spine again, looking up. And then I'd like you to start to round the spine, push up onto the balls of your feet, lift the hips, coming into downward dog. Deep inhale here. And exhale. Lower back down to the mat. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round and lift the hips up. Good. Inhale, lower. Arch the spine, roll the shoulders down and back, and then start to round through the spine as you push up and then flatten the upper back out. Inhale, lower, arch, round to lift, elevate into your downward dog and flatten out the upper back, lifting the tailbone high. Good. Moving between the positions, stretching and lengthening the spine. Good work. Make sure you really take a moment to flatten out the upper back when you're in your downward dog. Letting your head hang between your shoulders. Feels really good. Nicely done. And last one. And bring the spine back into neutral. Nice work. Now you can either stay up on your palms for this or come down onto your forearms. We're just going to mobilize the hips. So I'm going to start to draw some nice big circles in the air with my right knee. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as I circle that knee around and back. Really try to get as much lift as possible. Lubricating the hip joint. Good. We've got 3. Gently activating the glutes here 2. And last one. And lower down. Let's take it over to the other side. So we're going to lift that left knee up. Circle it back down and around. Good. Really important to warm up the hips. This can be a tight area. And in moving the knee in this exaggerated circle, you're also gently, as I said, switching on those glutes. So an extra added benefit for 2 and for 1. Nice work. Now, I'd like you to take the knees nice and wide. Big toes come together. We're going to push back into a child's pose, and then we're going to come forward. Push back into child's pose and come forward. Shoulders over wrists, belly to spine. Shoot back and forward. Lengthening through the tailbone, stretching the spine. Good work. We've got 3. Push the bum back toward the heels for 2. And last one. Nice work. Now come up into your knees, or you can sit cross-legged if that's more comfortable for you. And we're gonna lift the arms up, reaching and stretching for the ceiling. Deep inhale here. And as you exhale, I'd like you to twist to the left, bringing the right hand onto the left thigh. Good, and then lift and twist. So twisting from side to side, keeping the spine really lengthened here. Chin is parallel with the floor. Inhale and exhale. Reach and twist. Reach and twist a little bit further. Warming up the thoracic spine. Stretching through the neck as you look from side to side, back over that shoulder. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Now I'd like you to bring your hands down to the top of your mat, below your shoulders. Step your right foot out, step your left foot out. Coming into a high plank. Broaden across your shoulders, plug belly to spine. Deep inhale in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more breath like this. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly sink down to the mat, resting down onto the floor. Legs are hip distance apart. From here, we're just going to warm up our upper back muscles. So we're going to stretch and lengthen, lift the arms, inhale, and exhale, pull the elbows back toward the side of the body. Inhale, relax it down. Exhale, pull those elbows back. So it's a warm up so we don't have to lift the chest too high. I want you to focus on lengthening through the spine. So keep your gaze down on the mat. Growing taller out through the crown of your head. As you pull those elbows back, gently knit the shoulder blades together and contract those upper back muscles. We've got 5 and 4. Last 3 and 2. Pull it back. And final 1. Use your hands to help you. Coming into an all fours position. Amazing work. So now that we've warmed up the shoulders, the arms, the glutes, the hips, we're going to move into a little bit of an abdominal warm up. So I'd like you to sit back onto your heels, bring your feet forward on the mat, and we're going to go into some C-curve work. So we're going to press the hands into the backs of the thighs, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale here, and exhale, tuck the tailbone, drawing the belly in toward the spine, and then lift. So we're going to tuck the tailbone, curve the spine into the shape of a C. Shoulders are down away from the ears, abs engaged, and then lift. Let's add the breathing pattern. We're going to inhale to come back into our C shape, engage the core, and exhale, belly to spine to lift, lengthen the spine. Good. Inhale, come back, straighten the arms. Exhale, pull belly in to lift. Inhale, bring it back, and exhale, abs into lift. Good work. 2 more. And last one, we're going to come back. If you have the strength to do so, release your arms, keep those legs parallel. We're going to hold here and just pulse up for 10, 9, abs in, 8, 7, 6, shoulders down away from your ears, 3, 2, and 1. Roll all the way up and stretch the spine. Let's get into some ab work now. So we're going to roll all the way down to the mat, and we're going to take our hands behind our head. So the fingers are interlaced, the elbows are nice and wide. We're going to go into some simple crunches to start off. So we're going to inhale and exhale, just lift the chest and then lower, hover the head above the mat and lift up. Inhale to lower. Exhale, contract your belly button deeply in toward your spine as you lift up. Now notice I'm moving through these quite slowly. I'm really focusing on my deep core muscles activating As I lift, hold for a split second at the top of that lift, and then lower down one vertebra at a time with control. So we're inhaling at the bottom, exhale, curl and crunch up, keeping those elbows nice and wide, lifting so that just the bottom part of the shoulder blades are touching the mat as we come up. Really flattening your abdominal wall down toward your spine as you lift up. Good. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and final 1, lower down. Amazing work. From here, I'd like you to take your hands overhead, palms facing up toward the ceiling. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to bring one knee in toward the chest, bringing the arms down by the side. Inhale to lower, exhale, opposite knee comes in toward the chest. I'm going to slide down a little bit so I've got more space. Alternating knees in toward the chest. If you're finding this really challenging on your head, neck, and shoulders by adding the arm movement, I'd like you to support your head in your hands with your fingers interlaced. Okay, so either variation, just making sure, again, that you're really flattening that abdominal wall down as you curl and crunch up. And if you're using your arms are nice and straight and strong here. Curling up to the point where your head is resting on top of those shoulders. Good work. We've got 5 and 4, lift up a little higher. For 3, contract that core. And 2, and final 1, amazing work. Hands come back behind your head if they're not there already. And from here, we're going to go into a tabletop position. So I'd like you to bring your knees so they're above your hips, shins parallel with the floor. My legs are squeezing together here. Now, as we come up, we're going to widen the knees. And as we lower down, we're going to squeeze legs together. So inside of the feet, glue together as we widen and then back to tabletop. Widen the knees, crunch up, and then shins come together, knees touch. Inhale and exhale. Sorry, we're exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower, just to clarify. Good work. Nice. Control it on your way up as well as on your way down. Breathing out to lift. Nice work. I want you to really tighten the midline of the body as you crunch up. We've got 5 and 4. Last 3. Press lower back into the mat for 2. And final 1, lower down. Now for this next exercise, you have the option of keeping your hands behind your head, lifting head, neck, and shoulders, or taking your hands on either side of your tailbone for an easier option to support your lower back. I'm going to keep my hands behind my head. I'm going to curl and hold in a crunch position. Now, we're going to take those knees nice and wide as we did, and then we're going to come out and point. Knees come wide, bring them in, and then come out, point the toes, stretch the legs, squeeze them together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. If you're doing your reps with head, neck, and shoulders up and your neck is starting to strain, do a few reps with head, neck, and shoulders lower, or move between the 2 positions. We don't want any strain in that neck. If you'd like to make this a little bit less challenging, bring the legs up at a high angle. And if you want to make it more challenging, shoot them out at a lower angle. Knees widen, inside of the feet stay glued together. Good work, you've got this. We've got 5, 4, 3, and 2, And final one, lower legs down. Amazing work. I'd like you to roll over onto your stomach, come up into a cobra stretch just to stretch those abs for a moment. And then elevate into an all fours position. So we've done a little bit of ab work. We're going to revisit the abs later on, but we're going to give the abs a bit of a rest for now and target the upper body. So from here, I'd like you to walk your hands out a little bit further in front of your shoulders. Knees are on the floor under your hips. Now you really want to make sure you've got the alignment here, so your wrists, elbows, and shoulders are lined up. Fingers are spread, neck is long. From here, we're going to lower the forearms down to the floor and then lift, pressing up through the heels of the hands. Lower forearms to the floor, tap them down and lift. Lower belly to spine and lift. So you want those elbows tracking in alignment with those shoulders so that you can really feel this work in the backs of the arms. So don't allow your elbows to splay out to the sides. We're going to inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Lower, bend at the elbows, lift. As you straighten the arms, put weight into the heels of those hands. Good. Neck stays long, shoulders stay down away from the ears. Good work. Focusing mind muscle on those triceps. Doing the work to lift the body, to straighten those arms. We've got 3 and 2. Good work. And last 1. Now, from here, we're going to alternate tap the elbows to the mat. So it'll look like this. Left elbow, straighten, right elbow, straighten, left and right. Then we straighten both arms and we do 3 pulses. So the elbows lower almost all the way down to the mat and up for 3. Then left elbow, right elbow, right elbow, come up. Pulse 1, 2 together and 3. Good. Left, right. Straighten the arms, bend at the elbows, pulse for 1, 2, and 3. Good work. So you're switching from side to side. Weight stays in the heels of the hands the whole time. You should really feel this burning in the triceps. Good. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and pulse, pulse, and pulse. Good work. 2 more sets. Woo! Firing up those triceps. 1, 2, and 3. Keep your belly lifted, spine nice and long, and weight in the heels of those hands. Final 3 pulses. Straighten the arms, take the knees nice and wide, and push it back, stretching into child's pose. Breathing in through the mouth, breathing in through the nose rather, and out through the mouth. Amazing work. Now we're going to come forward once again, and now we're going to take the elbows out wide. So we want to turn the elbows out to the sides of the body and the fingers are turned slightly in. We're going to move into a different variation of a push-up so that we're really targeting the chest and the shoulders. We're going to lower the chest down between the hands and then push the mat away. Lower and push the mat away. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Now, if you're feeling strong here, you can come out into a full plank and do a full push-up, but I'm going to keep my knees down on the mat, and I'm going to really focus on contracting those chest muscles as I lift up. So we're allowing the elbows to splay out to the sides, abs stay engaged here, powering up through that upper body. We've got 6, 5, nice work, for 4, and 3, last 2, and final 1, amazing. Now I'd like you to bring your forearms down to the floor. We want our elbows below our shoulders, forearms are parallel, fingers are spread. And then we're gonna step the right leg back, step the left leg back, coming into low plank. So take a moment here to really set yourself up with good form. So we're lifting the abdominal wall, creating a nice flat line with the body, gaze is down on the mat. Deep inhale here. And as you exhale, I want you to pop your bum up, flattening out the upper back. Good. Inhale, lower, flat line. Exhale, lift, scoop your lower abs in. Inhale, flat line. Exhale, lift the bum and contract those lower abs. Inhale and exhale. Good work. Nice flat back as you lift those hips up. Inhale and exhale. Good work. We've got 6 and 5. Lift those hips high, scooping belly in for 4 and 3. Last 2 and final 1. Scoop up, lower down, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower knees down to the mat. Take them nice and wide. And sink back into your child's pose. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Good work. Okay, we're gonna lift ourselves up and roll the shoulders a couple times. Nicely done. Now we're gonna sink down onto the side body and start to target the glutes and the thighs. So I'd like you to create a long line with your body, stretching and lengthening. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked, ankles are stacked, shoulders are stacked. I'm gonna place one hand down on the mat for support. If this is uncomfortable on your neck, you can lay out on your outstretched arm. I'm gonna pick my feet up, hinge from the hip, bringing the feet forward so we're in a pike position. From here, we're gonna lift the top leg, flex and lower. Lift the top leg with a pointed toe, flex and lower. Lift and lengthen, flex through the heel to lower. Lift and lower. Really take this time to get into your breath. So breathing in through the nose, and as you exhale, you're really contracting your belly in towards your spine, which will help to keep your upper body still and stationary. Inhale and exhale. Why do we want the upper body still and stationary? We want to be isolating the work in the lower body. Good. Lift and lengthen through the toes, and then flex and lengthen through the heel as you breathe out and contract that core. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Now from here, we're going to point both toes. We're gonna lift the top leg, and we're just going to lift and lower it. Suspend it in the air, keep those hips stacked, little lifts and lowers. Lengthening out from the hip all the way out through that big toe. Spine is nice and long, neck is nice and long. As we just keep the leg elevated, lifting and lowering it. If you're losing stability, you can always bend that lower leg. Try to keep that top leg elevated, point and lengthen through the toe, and try not to let that top hip roll back. You want it right on top of that lower hip as you lift and lower. I know these are tough. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. It's crazy how quickly those start to burn. Okay, from here, we're going to, again, point and lengthen through the toes. We're gonna lift the top leg up at a diagonal, tap it to the toe that's on the ground, and then lift back on a diagonal. So you're kind of creating a V shape, going forward, tap, backward, tap, forward, tap, backward, tap. You can really feel it in the gluteus medius, especially as you send that leg back. And if you're really losing stability here, just make it a smaller range of movement. You don't need to do a gigantic V. You could do a smaller V, just really focusing on stability. Gluteus medius engagement, pointing through the toes so that you're strengthening all the muscles in the leg as you come up on a diagonal forwards and backwards. Good, we've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'd like you to bring your leg into the middle and we're gonna do some tiny circles, circling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going for 10, 9, and 10. Hold, reverse, circle backwards. 8, 7, 6. Oh, these burn. 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Ooh, amazing work. Okay, we're gonna come over and do the other side now. So I'd like you to get nice and long on your side body, setting yourself up. Head supporting, hand supporting the head. Lengthen, stack the hips, knees, and ankles. Hand comes down to the mat. We come forward into our pike. From here, we're lifting and flexing to lower. Lifting with a pointed toe, driving the heel down toward the other heel as we breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. You've got this. I want you to really focus on mobilizing the hip and flexing all the muscles in the leg as you point and flex the foot. Inhale to lift, belly to spine to lower. So as soon as that foot flexes to lower, I want that to be a little reminder for you to plug your belly in towards your spine. Inhale up, exhale down. Good work. Lengthen that neck, relax those shoulders. We've got 3 and 2 and final 1. Amazing. Pointing both toes, plugging belly in, lifting the leg, keeping the hips stacked, and we're just keeping the leg suspended in the air as we lift and lower. Now I found these really challenging on the opposite leg. So I'm just gonna breathe through it. And I encourage you to do the same, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as we lift and lower that leg. Good work. Lengthen out through that big toe. Keep those hips stacked. You can almost feel this into your obliques too. Good. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Amazing. Now from here, we're going to go into those V's. So we're pointing the toes, we're lifting that top leg on a diagonal forward and then on a diagonal backward. Meeting the toes in the middle, the point of the V. Good. Again, decreasing the size of that V, that range of motion if you're really struggling with this and if you're sort of really rocking around in the torso and losing good form. Good. You can also really focus on slowing it down and moving with purpose. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Good work. Feel it in those glutes, especially as you bring the leg back. I want you to really squeeze and contract the bum. Working deep into those hips, working those thighs, and working those glutes. A really beneficial exercise. Good. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Amazing work. Now, we're going to go back into position to work the abs. So we're gonna start off with our obliques, and we're already in a side lying position. So I'd like you to lower your forearm down to the mat. And from here, I'm gonna outstretch my top leg and keep my lower leg bent. From here, I'm going to lift up onto that lower leg. And I want you to take a moment here to create a nice flat line with the body. So again, our hips are stacked, our shoulders are stacked. We're not letting that top shoulder curl in. We want the chest nice and open, neck nice and long. From here, I'm gonna reach with my top arm, lift my top leg, and then elbow to knee. Stretch, and bring the elbow to the knee. Wow, I'm really shaking on this side. I think it was that lower body work. Good. Stretch and bring it in. Stretch and bring it in. Good. I'm actually not going to outstretch my arm right now. It's not feeling comfortable for me, so I'm going to take my hand behind my head. You can keep the arm lengthened if that feels better. But I want you to really focus on keeping that lower hip lifted. So you're holding in this side plank position as you bring elbow to knee. Good. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, crunch. If you've got your hand behind your head, just make sure that it's not pushing your head forward. Good. We've got 3 and 2 and final 1. Stretch it out and lower it down. Now we're going to move into some side crunches. So we're going to bend both knees, position the elbow below the shoulder. Again, keeping those shoulders and hips stacked. You can take your hand on your hip or outstretched or behind your head. We're going to lift and lower. Just hover that lower hip off the mat. Lift and lower. Lift it up, lower it down. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Really plug your navel in towards your spine here. Good, keeping that chest nice and open. Really cinching in that waistline as you lift that lower hip up off the floor. Good work. We've got 5, 4, lift that lower hip a bit higher, 2, and 1. Hold at the top of the lift. I'm going to take my hand behind my head and we're just going to pulse. Little control pulses, lifting that hip up toward the ceiling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, a little bit higher, 2, and 1, lower down. Whew. Take your foot in towards your inner thigh. Lift up and over and stretch the side body that you just worked. Reaching and lengthening, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Reach a bit further. Try to keep that bum cheek down on the mat. Both bum cheeks down on the mat. For 3 and 2 and 1. Elevate up. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. So we're going to position the elbow below the shoulder. Stack those shoulders, stack those hips. Lift up, lower leg is bent. Correct any little postural checkpoints that you need to here. Make sure that your shoulder isn't turning in, that your hip isn't falling back. And from here, either the arm outstretched as we crunch elbow toward the knee. I'm not shaking on this side. Good. And again, if you want to switch it up, you can do hand behind your head. That kind of forces you to have to drive your elbow in a little bit closer. It almost makes it more challenging. So pick an option that works for you. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, Last 2. And final 1. Great work. Lower down. Stack your knees, stack your hips. And we're gonna prepare for those side plank crunches. So I'm gonna inhale and exhale. Lift and lower. Make any little adjustments with your form that you need to. Really cinch in that waistline as you lift that lower hip. So again, notice I'm not letting that hip drop all the way to the ground. I'm just hovering it on the floor and then pushing it right back up on the exhale. Good work. I know these are tough, but they're super effective in working those obliques and also building upper body strength. Good work. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold at the top of the lift and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Bring the foot in toward the inner thigh. Stretch and lengthen, folding over to the side. Keeping both bum cheeks in contact with the mat. Reaching and stretching and regulating the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale. And as you exhale, you can ripple up to a seated position. Nice work. Now we're going to carry on with our ab work. We're going to focus on our lower abs and then on our upper abs. So I'd like you to roll down to the mat. Take your hands behind your head and bring the legs into tabletop. I'd like you to flex your feet here. If you feel like your lower back is really lifting off the mat, I want you to bring the knees in a little closer to the chest so that you can really make sure you're making contact with your low back and the mat. From here, I'm gonna lift head, neck, and shoulders up. You can keep them down if that's more comfortable for you. And I'm just going to alternate legs extending out parallel with the mat. Good. Drive through the heel and then bring the knee back to the starting position. Inhale in, exhale, extend. Good. Now as you extend, I really want you to focus on those lower abs, and as you bring that leg back in, you're pulling your abdominal wall down toward your spine. Good. Driving out through the heel. Really powerful here. Full extension of the leg before bringing it back in. We've got 8, 7. Lift head, neck, and shoulders a little higher if you can. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, lower head, neck, and shoulders. Amazing work. Now, from here, we're gonna add some leg lifts. Again, if you need to take your hands on either side of your tailbone to support, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, hands stay behind the head. We're going to lift up. I'm going to gently straighten the legs, but still maintain a bit of a bend, and we're going to keep the feet flexed. From here, I'm going to lower the right leg, straightening it, and come back up. Lower the left leg, straighten it, and come back up. So we're hinging from the hip, pulling the belly in toward the spine to bring that leg back into the starting position. We're inhaling to lower, exhale, belly to spine to lift. Inhale and exhale. Straighten the leg and pull up using your lower abdominal strength. Good work. If it's too much with head, neck, and shoulders lifted, make sure you lower them down. Good. Inhale to lower, exhale, hinging from the hip, pulling those lower abs in to lift that leg back up. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, one. Lower the legs down. I'd just like you to sway your knees from side to side for a moment, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Regulating the breath for 3 and 2 and 1. Nicely done. Bring your feet together, glue the inside of the feet together, and let your knees splay out to the sides. Keeping hands behind the head, we're going to go into one of my favorite exercises, the double crunch. So we're going to inhale to prepare here, and as we exhale, we're going to curl up, tapping knees and elbows, then lower, maintaining the wideness of the knees. Inhale to lower. Exhale, contract your belly button deeply in toward your spine to lift. Good. Head rests in hands. Inhale to lower, widen the elbows, and then as you lift, bring your elbows in to meet your knees. Now, as you lift up, you should really be pressing your low back into the mat and drawing your belly button down towards your spine. So you're sort of cinching everything in. You're working the middle of your abs, you're working your upper abs, you're working your lower abs. This is a really effective exercise. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. We've got 3 and 2. And last one, we're gonna come up and hold for 5, 4, 3, pull belly in, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Amazing work. Now from here, we're gonna target those upper abs. So I'd like you to lift your legs up long and straight. If it's too much with legs straight, gently bend the legs. I'd like you to bring one hand in front of the other, interlocking your thumbs. We're going to gently flex the feet. Inhale here, and exhale. We're going to pulse 1, 2, 3, and lower. Lift, 2, 3, and lower. Lift, 2, 3, and lower. Good work. Up, a little higher, and lower. Working those upper abs. 1, 2, 3, and lower. Good work. Lift, 2, 3, and lower. Last 2 sets. I know these are tough. You can do it. Nearly there. Last 1, 2, and 3. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Roll over onto your stomach again, and we're just going to do another abdominal stretch. So either coming up into cobra or all the way up onto your hands. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And lower back down to the mat. Okay, from here we're gonna get up into an all fours position, and we're gonna start focusing our attention on our glutes. So from here, my wrists are below my shoulders, knees are below my hips, and I'm just going to point the right toes and bend the right knee so the heel comes in toward the bum. From here, I'm going to extend that leg out long, keeping the hips square with the mat, and then tap, bringing it back to the starting position. So extend and tap knee down. Extend and tap knee down. Extend and tap. Now, as we work through these taps and extensions, I want you to really broaden across the shoulders, plug belly in toward the spine, and focus your mind on those right glutes. So we're starting off slow on this right side. We're tapping and extending, squeezing the bum at every point of the movement, especially on that extension. Flexing the thighs, flexing the hamstrings, tightening the glutes. Good work. Tap, extend, tap, extend. Good. We've got 5, 4, 3, lengthen through the big toe, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Lower, lift, lower, lift. Keep those toes pointed. abs are engaged so that as you lift that leg, you're not straining your lower back or arching your lower back. Good. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Good work. Lifting and lengthening that heel up toward the ceiling. Squeezing those right glutes as you do so. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'd like you to hold it there. Lower your forearms down to the mat. Interlace your fingers. Cross your right leg over the bent leg. Come up and over and cross it to the other side of the mat. So you're drawing a nice big rainbow shape in the air as you tap from one side to the other. Good. Lifting and squeezing at the highest point. Really focusing on those right glutes. The right hamstrings are working hard too. Lengthening the spine. Keeping your gaze down on the mat and the spine really lengthened. As you move from side to side, you can do it. Good work. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I want you to hold in the middle, and then from here, we're gonna bend and extend. So you're lowering the knee a couple inches, and then you're straightening the leg. Bend and extend. Woo, these burn. You can do it. Keep it up. We've got 8, 7, squeeze that bum. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Lengthen and lift an inch higher, and we're gonna pulse. Little controlled pulses. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, take your knees nice and wide and stretch it back. Sink into those hips. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice work. Let's take it over to the other side. Okay, setting ourselves up with good form. Wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. From here, I'm going to point the left toes, bend the left knee, and we're going to extend. Tap, I'm going to move up a little bit further. Tap, extend. Tap, extend. Good work. Squeezing the bum as you extend that leg. Tap and extend. Give it a lot of energy. Focusing on those left glutes doing the work now. Good. Breathing through it. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you extend. Full extension out through that big toe. Hips stay square with the mat. Good work. Nicely done. For 6, 5, squeeze the glutes. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Lengthening out through that big toe, keeping those hips square with the mat. Engaging that core to protect the spine. Good, you've got this. Keep it up. Try not to collapse in the shoulders. Keep pushing the mat away so you're nice and broad across those shoulders as you squeeze those left bum cheeks to get the lift. Good. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the leg lifted, and we're going to come down onto the forearms. Tap to the outside of the bent leg and lift up and over. Tap and lift, tap and lift. Maintaining the pointed toes and the stability in the torso as you move from one side to the other. Breathe through it. I know it's tough. Good. Lift up and over. Get as much of a lift in the middle of that rainbow arc as possible. That's what's really going to lift your bum. Good. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Bend the knees slightly and extend. Lower a couple of inches and extend. Make sure you're still square in those hips. Both hip bones facing down to the mat. Whew, and losing steam on this side, it's tough. We're gonna stick with it because we only have a couple more exercises left. Good, breathing into it. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you extend that leg. We've got 4, 3, 2, keep those shoulders down away from your ears, and 1, hold it here. Lift, lift, lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Now we're going to take the knees wide, but keep the hips elevated as we stretch it out in puppy pose. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Amazing work. Let's bring those wrists below the shoulders again. And from here, we're going to finish off with some planking and core work. It's going to feel good. We're going to target the arms as well. Let's finish with a lot of power and a lot of energy. So from here, we're going to come to the very top of the mat. We're going to stretch the right leg out long and lift. Now, keeping the elbows in close toward the side of the body, I'd like you to lower the chest and lift. Lower, tricep push-up and lift. Curl the left toes, lift, bring the knee toward the chest and straighten the leg. Knee toward the chest and straighten the leg. Lower down, flatten the foot, same thing again. Lower and lift, pushing the mat away. Lower and lift. Curl the toe, lift, knee in and stretch out. Knee in and stretch out. Amazing work. Lower and lift, working the backs of the arms. Lower and lift. Curl the toes, lift and hover. Knee in and out. Knee in and out. Amazing work. Stretch it back before we do the other side. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Return to your all fours position. From here, we're going to stretch the left leg out long, lengthening through those toes. Hips are square with the mat. Lower the chest and lift. Lower the chest and lift. Curl the right toes. Bring the knee in and extend. Knee in and extend. Lowering down. Lower and lift. Push up through the heels of the hands. Lower and lift. Curl the toes. Knee in. Extend. Knee in. Extend. Amazing work. Lower, lift. Lower, lift. Curl the toes. Bring it in. Stretch it out. Bring it in. Stretch it out. Last set. Lower, lift. Lower, lift. Curl the toes. Bring it in. Stretch it out. Bring it in. Stretch it out. Lower both feet down to the floor. Lift your hips up high. Reach for the ceiling with those hips. Flatten out the upper back. And we're just going to start cooling it down. So let's pedal out the heels here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice work. Let your head hang between your shoulders. For 3 and 2 and 1. Level out the heels. Lift the right leg up high and fold it under the lower body. Coming into a pigeon pose. Pressing your fingers down into the mat and elevating up. If it feels good, you can fold over the knee, relaxing your chest down toward the floor. Keeping that back leg straight out behind you. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring your palms down on the mat, step back into your downward dog. Stretch and lengthen through the spine. Lift those hips up nice and high. Lift the left leg and fold it under the body. Pressing fingertips down into the mat, elevating up, stretching and lengthening. And then if it feels good, folding over the lower body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And gently come into a seated position. We're going to bring the feet together. Shoulders melt down away from the ears. Legs splay out to the side. You can bring your feet further forward if that's more comfortable. And just gently encouraging your knees down to the mat. We're going to inhale and exhale. Fold forward, lengthening through the spine. You can place your hands on your knees and apply a little bit of pressure to deepen the stretch if that feels comfortable. Not to the point of pain, but just to the point of deepening that stretch a little bit further. Breathing deeply in through the nose. Fold over the lower body a little further and out through the mouth. Nice work. Now from here, we're going to bring the feet forward on the mat. We're going to lift the hands up. Straighten the legs if you can, otherwise maintain a gentle bend, and then fold over the lower body. You can reach for your feet, your calves, or your ankles. Drop the crown of your head. And draw nice deep inhales in through the nose and slowly out through the mouth. Now I'd like you to pull your belly button into your spine a little bit more so that you create more space to fold a little bit more deeply. Bringing your chest closer to your legs. Stretching out the entire back body here. Nicely done. And gently release, rolling up. From here, I'm going to come into a cross-legged position, and I'm going to move into those rotations that we started off with. I was kneeling the first time. This time I'm going to be cross-legged. So I'm going to reach my hands up tall and then twist over to one side, looking out over the shoulder, and then lift and twist to the opposite side. Try to get as much of a rotation as you can. We're slowing this one right down. Lengthen up through the crown of the head as you twist, keeping your hips evenly weighted on the mat. Looking out over the shoulder with the eyes so that you're stretching the neck. Lift up a little taller. Don't let any rounding happen in the spine as you twist around the thoracic spine. Good. Let's do one more each side. And last one. Amazing work. And final stretch here, we're going to get into a hip flexor stretch. So I'd like you to bring your right foot between your hands, straighten that left leg out behind you with a gentle bend. I'm going to interlace my fingers, take them on my right thigh, and just gently push that left hip forward, stretching into that left hip flexor. Sitting up nice and tall here, melting the shoulders down away from the ears. Sink a little bit more deeply into your stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands down to the floor. Bring your left foot forward. Right leg is straight out behind you. Interlace your fingers. Place your palms on your left thigh. And then again, just gently pushing that right hip forward so we feel the stretch running all the way through the hip flexor. Sink a little bit more deeply into it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands down. You can sit with your legs crossed facing me. We're going to roll out the shoulders to finish off. I'd like you to lift your shoulders up by your ears. Inhale, and exhale, roll them down and back. Lift and roll them down and back. Last 2, melt away any of that tension in the shoulders and the neck. Open through the chest, and we are done. Amazing work. Thank you for sticking with it. You worked your entire body. I hope you're feeling strong and stretched, and I very much look forward to working out with you again next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.